Serena Williams, when hosting the ESPYs, would be on stage with sister Venus Williams and actor Quinta Brunson of Abbott Elementary. They would talk about women's sports, the inclusiveness, the enjoyment they get. They are sports, Venus would say. Except you, Harrison Butker. We don't need you, Serena said, as Brunson would put a bow in it at all, like ever.
Bad policies and poor leadership have negatively impacted major life issues. Things like abortion, IVF, surrogacy, euthanasia, as well as a growing support for degenerate cultural values in media, all stem from the pervasiveness of disorder.
Who used his position to say this and more.
The world around us says that we should keep our beliefs to ourselves whenever they go against the tyranny of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
He would attack DEI practices.
I'm on this stage today and able to be the man I am because I have a wife who leans into her vocation. I'm beyond blessed with the many talents God has given me, but it cannot be overstated that all of my success is made possible because a girl I met in band class back in middle school would convert to the faith, become my wife, and embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker.
And he would advocate for women to stay in the kitchen and be homemakers instead of simply being whatever they wanted to and achieving those dreams and goals.
Like those here at Benedictine, wouldn't be met with anger, but instead met with excitement and pride. Not the deadly sin sort of pride that has an entire month dedicated to it, but the true God-centered pride that is cooperating with the Holy Ghost to glorify Him. Reading that article now shared all over the world, we see that in the complete surrender of self and a turning towards Christ, you will find happiness.
He even went after the LGBTQ plus community. It was viewed as homophobic, full of transphobia, and simply in one word, hate. That is how this man came off. Thus, when he heard the Williams sisters and Quinta Brunson at the ESPYs, he gave the usual song and dance, which we will decipher. Sports are supposed to be the great unifier, and at an event dedicated to celebrating a diverse group of men and women who have accomplished great feats, Serena Williams used it as an opportunity to disinvite those with whom she disagrees with from supporting fellow athletes, he would say in a statement. Let's be clear. Harrison Butker is saying that sports is this great unifier, okay? And he's giving this statement. Meanwhile, he doesn't believe that Serena Williams should be on that stage. Let that sink in. From awful announcing, he subtly criticized her for using the ESPY stage to celebrate athletic achievement for a personal jab. However, he did go further than that, as he attempted to position himself as a champion for inclusivity, claiming Williams' actions divided rather than united, which is a preposterous way of framing this by Harrison Butker, and is something that we need to call out. Furthermore, via Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio, Butker's attempted pivot to victim isn't as adroit as he had hoped, even without the extra width. He disinvited himself. Serena Williams and Quinta Brunson were merely acknowledging it, looking at it more broadly, wrote Florio. Butker didn't use the situation as an opportunity to explain that his words from May were in some way misunderstood or misinterpreted. His acknowledgement that Serena Williams is someone with whom she disagrees with tends to conform that he said what he meant, and he meant what he said. Of course, the Williams sisters and Brunson were not the only ones to criticize the Chiefs kicker.
He was telling men to don't forget to puff up your chests and be more masculine. Don't lose your masculinity. The irony was that when he was saying that, he looked like such a There's nothing more masculine than a strong man supporting a strong woman. Take that.
Pearl Jam's Eddie Vedder is who you just heard. Some of Chicago's finest. He went in as well. So did the Benedictine College nuns. Let's not forget this. They wrote in a statement in response to Butker's commencement speech, The Sisters of Mount St. Scholastica do not believe that Harrison Butker's comments in his 2024 Benedictine College commencement address represent the Catholic, Benedictine, liberal arts college that our founders envisioned and in which we have been so invested. They would go further in their statement, which was posted on Facebook. Instead of promoting unity in our church, our nation, and the world, his comments seem to have fostered division, they would write. One of our concerns was the assertion that being a homemaker is the highest calling for a woman. We sisters have dedicated our lives to God and God's people, including the many women whom we have taught and influenced during the past 160 years. These women have made a tremendous difference in the world, in their roles as wives and mothers, and through their God-given gifts in leadership, scholarship, and their careers. Another note, via CNN, Butker faced significant backlash for his comments from fans and from the likes of LGBTQ advocacy organization GLAAD, which called the speech a clear miss and woefully out of step with Americans about pride, LGBTQ people, and women. Let's go back to something, because I always hear this mainly from the right, that sports is this great unifier and it doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. All that matters is winning. That's what it should be. Except when someone stands up for their community. Except when someone advocates for something that the league doesn't want them to. Except when they try to be as inclusive as possible. Except when there are football players who have a different preference of a private life as opposed to others. That's when it gets a little iffy. They also say that sports are not supposed to be political. And yet here's Harrison Butker using his fame as a kicker for the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. And the only reason he got on that stage was because of the labor of a predominantly black team making those harmful and hateful words. He had to say something. And we knew that there would be a response from this person. But what we also envisioned and thus came to reality was how shallow of a response it was. And quite frankly, Serena Williams has used her platform for many great things, along with Venus Williams, along with actor Quinta Brunson. Can't say the same for the Chiefs kicker guy. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.